Only 2 weeks after releasing Majora's Mask, Nintendo is back with another classic game for the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack subscription service. That's right, fasten your seat belts because today brings the launch of the Nintendo 64 racing game FZero X. That's the good news. Unfortunately, the bad news is that there's nothing but silence coming from the 8 and 16-bit side of the service. Yeah, that sucks. But it's not gonna stop me from flipping through the pages of Electronic Gaming Monthly, Next Generation, Nintendo Power, and more to see what critics said about FZero X back when it was first released. Come, join me for the shortest episode ever of the Nintendo Switch Online Review Crew. After F-Zero proved to be one of the top-selling launch games on the Super NES, you would think that Nintendo would want to capitalize on the brand with a speedy sequel. Oddly enough, that's not what happened. Believe it or not, it took the company 7 long years to come up with a sequel, the game you're looking at right now, F-Zero X. This eagerly anticipated second installment radically changed the art style and level designs, creating a much faster racing game that finally offered true multiplayer support. The result was a well-received game that was more than capable of keeping up with Sony's Wipeout series. Even with the lengthy hiatus and added competition, the critics immediately fell in love with F-Zero X. After being somewhat negative about the Nintendo 64's lineup, Next Generation fell in line with Nintendo's Racer, giving it a 5 out of 5 and calling it a game that has to be played to be believed. F-Zero impresses on all levels, from the rockin' guitar tunes to the insanely addictive Grand Prix races. This game is a blast! Nintendo Power also gushed over the sequel, raving that the speed, variety, and play control puts F-Zero in a class all by itself. They loved the game's incredible sense of speed, the out-of-this-world tracks, the high-velocity action, and of course, the silky play control. One of the few complaints was that the poorly detailed backgrounds could have been a little bit better. In reality, you saw similar scores across the board, with Edge giving F-Zero X an 8 out of 10, and it getting a 4.5 out of 5 from GamePro. All 4 of Electronic Gaming Monthly's critics gave the game a 9, with Crispin calling it a super fast, super intense racer, an equal mix of style and solid gameplay. Sean also loved the game, specifically singling out the challenge. However, much like Nintendo Power, he was a little miffed by the visuals. Graphically, I could have been more impressed, but I guess if they're going for an old school look, I can understand. Hold on, wait. Were they going for an old school look? What does that even mean in 1998? Actually, don't answer that. Just download F-Zero X and enjoy, because all the critics agree that it's a great game. Hey, thanks for watching this incredibly short episode of Nintendo Switch Online Review Crew. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we have a whole archive where we look at all of the Nintendo 64 and Genesis games in the expansion pack. Now, here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite futuristic racing game? Ooh, personally, I've always been partial to the Wipeout series. I love the 2 PSP games, as well as the HD version they released on the PlayStation 4. Do you agree? Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back next week with a look at what Electronic Gaming Monthly thought of all of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. While you wait for that, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.